Welcome back to the channel. Webby's with me today, and boy, have we got plenty to talk about. So stick with us, press that like button, share, and please subscribe. Webby, I've got to start positive. Cunha coming to Man United. What's your opinion on that, mate?
Listen, we need more than him, obviously, but listen, since he's not in European football, probably the worst season I can remember for a long time, and we can still pull players like that. It says it all about the Manchester United club itself. Good player. You know, he helped. I'm not just saying he's the main reason Wolves got out of the mess it was in, but he's one of the main reasons. Listen, he's got a bit of fight in his belly as well, which we haven't got.
Yeah.
Simple. I know he headbutt someone or smash someone in the stomach or clothesline him at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But we need players like that around the club, people who care, who want to fight. So, listen, he's a great addition, but we need a hell of a lot more than that, you know, to improve on last year because... Tony, the cricket season's starting now. I can't wait. I never thought I'd say that, you know what I mean? I'm off to the cricket later on today. Hopefully the weather changes here in sunny Manchester. No, but great signing. Great signing. You know, he wanted to come to the club. That's what I like, Tony, when players want to come to this club. Not because they're getting an extra 30 or 40 bags on what they're getting at the previous club. They want to play for this club.
Premier League experience, Webby, that's important.
Some of what we don't do, so that really, we don't buy someone who's done it in the Premiership.
Yeah.
You know, when we signed the likes of Michael Carrick years ago, we'd done it for Tottenham, and you know, listen, I'm happy with the signing, but we need much more than that. But a great start, so let's see who else we can bring in.
Well, great start. Reports now, Liam Delap is favouring Chelsea. Yeah. That's been coming for a while. Always reported Chelsea. We were told, we had a good discussion a fortnight ago, Liam Delap wasn't coming, but now it looks as though it's been confirmed. Is that a miss, Webby? Especially £30 million Premier League. For me, I've called him, he's like a Mark Hughes, you know, with his muscle and strength and everything, exactly what we want. And he's a goal scorer, Webby.
Yeah, listen, if he wants to go to Chelsea, you know, they can offer him more than what we can at the moment. European Cup, Champions League football. You know, I look at Chelsea's squad. Is it one of the youngest in Premier League history? No, listen, fair play. If he wants to go to Chelsea, he might fancy the London Lights, you know, instead of the Salford Lights. Two different things, aren't they?
Yeah, completely.
No, fair play to him. No, it's a decent price. He's stood out well in a very poor, struggling Ipswich team. But listen, if the kid wants to go to Chelsea, then we wish him all the best, you know what I mean? But for 30 million, is it what we actually need? Yeah, we do, because with that toothless up front, you know, we've proved that. Right, we've proved that last year with the... Was it something like 17, 18 matches we never scored in? You know, you normally get one or two maybe, but no, listen, if he goes to Chelsea, we wish him all the best. We'd rather have him here.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't want to come here, you know, the bright lights of London, fair play to the kid.
Talk out there, goal scorer, good player. He's come on well for Brentford, Mbeumo. He scores goals, Webby. Mbeumo. Sorry, mate, I just keep getting it wrong.
I'll get it Brian.
Yeah,
I call him Brian.
Well, I hope he was. Anyway, but I just look at it, Webby. People out there are thinking he's a striker. He's mainly on the right. He's left-footed, Webby. Yeah. He scores goals. So that's the mistake people are thinking. What do you think of him?
Well, you look at it there, obviously, it was never in the limelight there because it was Tony.
Yes.
Tony was the main man. He's left the club. He's moved over to pastures new in Saudi. Listen, and he's carried on scoring goals.
Got the freedom to play.
He's carried on scoring goals, Tony, so there are to come by goal scorers, you know what I mean? And he's done it in the Premiership over a number of years now, where he's been in that shadow of Ivan Toney, but now he's had to come out of it because Tony left. Listen, if he's up for sale, you have a look at him, don't you? Is what we need. I'm just glad. I've been reading up, believe it or not.
You're reading up?
Yeah. Osserman. I can't believe the amount of matches he misses through injury. A quarter of the games for his last previous clubs at Napoli and is it Galatasaray where he's not played. You know, you need these players in big matches because that's what it's going to be next year. I know there's no Europe, but every time we play on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's a massive game.
3 points.
It's a massive game for us, Tony. There's no excuse all the players are tired. We've got to look at this match the following week. We've not got that. Simple as, because we've been that crap this year. We don't deserve it. We had a chance to get out of jail in Bilbao, and it never happened. So now, these players have got to hit the ground running every Saturday or Sunday, 12:30, 3 o'clock, 5:30. They've got to be up for. There's no excuse. So it's down to get. But I'd have a listen. So if he's available for 50 million, the amount of money we've squandered over the years on duck eggs. That's what they've been, duck eggs.
Duck eggs.
Listen, you'll have a go at him. Proven Premiership goal scorer. There's not too many about who are available to buy toe. So let's see what happens. He'll probably end up at Newcastle or somewhere like that, who can offer him Champions League football, because that's what goes into the contract. You know, what we say about Casemiro, if we would have got back in the Champions League, his wages would have gone up again. So it's all about the Bugs Bunny, toe. You know what I mean? But let's have a look. If he's available and there's a chance, get him all day long, because we've got now up front. So
now up front, well, one player what's not going to be up front, Webby. Ruben Amorim called him out in front of all the players. Garnacho, what's your making of that, Webby? Is that a poor thing to do? Is it the right thing?
I seen your video, you and Kieran, when you went into that Youth Cup final, and the video was all about Garnacho, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
a couple of years ago, yeah.
Listen, I look at it like this. So if the crowd sing a song for you week in, week out, you've made it in my eyes. Like, still sing about Eric now, still sing about John O'Shea, Robson and all that.
Yeah.
And he had a song about him, and I honestly thought we had a world beater there. And then obviously you speak about the goal at Goodison. I was actually there that day to be live in the stadium to witness that goal. But he's not moved up, so he's stayed at that level or maybe gone down a notch. And you can't do that, so. And then I looked at him, I did watch the matches today, disinterested. You know, and then I seen him walking out of the stadium with his sunglasses on. It was fucking pitch black. You know, he's not interested if it's
Is
right.
Is it an attitude problem, do you think?
Maybe.
Because there's been lots of things where the manager's pulled him. He pulled him with Rashford back in December.
Yeah.
He's also done things on social media and that uncalled for. So is it the maturity with him, Webby, or has Ruben Amorim just had enough? I mean, to call him out in front of all the players, that's ruthless, Webby.
I look at it there with Garnacho. Listen, I want him to stay, personally. Can he get better? Of course he can. He's only a young kid.
Yeah.
But if he's not interested and he's dropping these things on social media, you know, you don't need it.
No.
You don't need it. So, you know, get on with the game. Get on with your performances. Make the manager make you undroppable. You know, because we've seen what he can do. But for me, he's just stayed at level or dropped a level. And if you look at it, if we sell him, we can use all that money with him coming through the ranks. But you don't want to see youngers. I know he didn't start at the club. We get him from Atletico Madrid and he's moved up, you know, and people like Colby, you don't want to see people like him going. But then you've got to look at him. Listen, these owners there, can Colby play in Amorim's system? You know, we should be. I remember saying to you or Kieran or someone, when it was the World Cup or the Euros, I thought we had a world star there in Colby. We'd build a team around. And he just seemed to have dropped off that level. Hopefully, next year for Colby, it's a massive year for him. Because at one point now, he's probably the first name on the England team sheet, not about the United.
Yeah, there was a point.
And now he can't get in the squad.
No.
So, Garnacho, I think it might be best for him to leave.
Is Garnacho, when you look at it, Webby, a symptom of, like, the disease what's been inside this club, you know, the attitude and everything else, and the lack of discipline and all that, and players...
they got away with murder under previous regimes. Some of these young, not just younger players, a lot of the players.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to see Garnacho's missus put on Instagram, last game at home. You know, just take a picture of the new £8,000 dress you just bought.
Just get out there.
Just, you know, don't put it on there. And it winds the fans up.
Yeah.
They're going to go against him because of his missus. I just don't know. So, but like he's looking, he's there. If it's right what the manager says, and he said, listen, you find yourself a club.
Yeah.
That Napoli story won't go away. And the Chelsea link won't go away. So
was Ruben Amorim ruthless, do you think, in front of all the players? Was that the right way to do it? Because I believe it was. It's letting everyone else know.
I look at it there, so under the great Sir Alex. You know, I look at the scenario of Ten Hag being interviewed on the pitch at the Emirates, and the reporter, whoever it was, says, why wasn't Sancho in the squad today? Now, with Fergie would have said, he's got a bit of an hamstring, saying, didn't really want to push him today because, no, he's not been training well. But that, so, if it was Fergie or whatever, that becomes old news. It becomes wrapped up in your fish and chips the next day. But they're still talking about it now. You know, even will Chelsea sign him? I didn't see his goal last night. I know he come on and he did well, apparently. I don't know. but you don't keep it in-house. You know, but right, what you said about Amorim, was he right? No, I like things that me and you and people don't know about.
Yeah.
But he's done that thing, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, Tony. But, you know, you've seen him growing up, coming through the youth and the reserves, and you think he's going to be here for life. But
yeah, it happens.
1 minute's a long time in football, so let's see what happens over the summer. But I do think he'll go, unfortunately.
One of your favourite players, let's get on that subject, Webby. Luke Shaw. What's the situation, in your opinion?
I think he's gone.
You think?
I think he's gone, mate. Looked after him.
Gone physically or just gone out of the club?
I just think it's time for him to move, mate. You know, I was there that night. He had that horrendous injury in PSV. You know, he's had a lot of injuries, you know. And what winds United fans up is that he played at Luton. We didn't see him again. Tried desperately so hard to get back for England. Come on in the semi-final.
Done everything.
Started the final. Listen, on his day, Luke Shaw's as good as anyone, but I just think it's times now is to cut all things and get him out of the club and give the likes of Ames a go, or Yoro on that left-hand side of a free, if he's going to stay the free at the back. Listen, Luke Shaw, you know, he's a great player. That injury, I'm going to again, never help, but I think it's time for him to go, Tom.
I'll go on about Bruno, discussions about Bruno there. What's your thoughts, Webby? Because there's a lot of people out there talking about the big bids, what are supposedly coming in, whether it's true or not, Webby, from Saudi, the options on the table. So would you keep him? I believe, this is my thoughts, Webby, I think he's instrumental. If we didn't have Bruno this year, what would it have looked like, Webby?
Yeah. Listen,
can we afford to let him go if an offer did come in? Never mind Saudi, from anywhere else.
Personally, if they're offering that crazy money, what is he, 31? I'd take it. So, you know what I mean? And I know what you're saying about without his goals and assists over the years, where would we be? But do you trust the manager to spend that money, what we get for him? I just think that it's what he wants. It's what he wants, you know. I know he signed that new contract last year, but if you're talking that kind of money, 140 million for a 31-year-old, I think you've got to be serious to have a good look on what you could get with that. But then on the other hand, do you trust the manager with that money?
Do you trust the owners with that money?
No,
with the debt?
I don't trust them melting ice.
You know, the money that be used for something else.
I remember the Ronaldo one when we sold it to Milan, Madrid for 80 million. Where did that 80 million go? Straight to those clowns. Those rats had it away. So I don't know, Tom. Listen, Bruno is our captain. You know, for me, the final was made for him to run that game. It was poor. He wasn't just the only one.
No.
But you got to be serious. So that kind of money, you got to have a hard long thing, especially hard owners. Yeah. You know what I mean? You see that's money on the table for the 31-year-old. What's the sell-on value for him now? If we don't take that money, if it's true, next year is he worth 30, 40 million? I'll be gutted, but money talks.
Another player, Webby, out the door, been out on loan, Aston Villa, Marcus Rashford. Reports there on Wednesday, Barcelona sporting director having conversations, could be interested in Rashford. Do you think it's feasible that Barcelona would go for Marcus Rashford, especially with the wages and his performances?
What's he going to go over there carrying on injuries? Because he's not going to get that first 11.
Well, I've said that.
He's not going to Lamar or Rafinha get him out of the team. No, listen, we've come on here over the years and we've spoken about Marcus, and I think I've said to you, if one player was going to beat Rooney's record and stay at this club injury-free, it was going to be Marcus. Listen, he's left to go to Villa, seemed to be enjoying himself. Well, Villa, now they're not in the Champions League, have that 40 million to spend. You know, by rights, him, Anthony and Sancho are back here in a few weeks.
Yes, that's true.
They're employers of Manchester United Football Club. And I've seen Anthony come on about, what did he do last night? Apparently he did nothing.
No.
You know, he's up against Chelsea, a good young English Premiership team. But there's a major problem there, Token. If you look at Rashford, Anthony and Sancho's weight, there's £1 million a week. A week?
Yes.
So what do we do? Do we give him away for peanuts? But Barcelona, listen, if Rashford's going to go anywhere, and they've been sniffing for him since he scored that penalty in Paris Saint-Germain, you know, listen, I'd love nothing more than Marcus to come back here as an happy footballer, enjoying himself. But I just think that's ship sailed now. I think it's time for him to leave the club. We've got to get it right. We can't be giving him away for peanuts. Let's stick to that 40 million. let's see what we can get. But like saying, who's going to take him? What teams are going to get into?
Difficult.
He's not going to get in that Barcelona top three up front. But listen, it's a problem they've got to solve. The same with Anthony and Sancho, because it's £1 million, that, Toe.
Yeah.
Just not short of what you're getting a week. You know what I mean? No, listen, it's got to be done now, Toe.
Yeah.
It's got to be done now, Paul.
Yeah,
it's got to be right. The right decision for the player, the right decision for the football club.
Yeah, we can't have it drag on, Webby.
No.
It's got to be done. And
no,
done
I don't like. I'd rather them go than sending them out on loan and we're paying money towards their wage again, which we have done for Anthony, Sancho and Rashford. Get it sorted.
I want to touch on the season, Webby, what we've had. I mean, it's been horrendous, right? I know it's a sad talking point, but we've got to talk about it. What's your biggest disappointment? Or is there many big disappointments?
So how long have we got? Do you know, the biggest disappointment for me was last Wednesday, how we never turned up to a cup final, how we never turned up. So, and that's no disrespect to Tottenham. Tottenham there for the beating. We just never turned up. And then on the flip side, you see the performance against Villa on Sunday, who I actually thought so before the match. They're going for Champions League, got a great squad.
Fighting,
coming here, and we've had lesser teams come here and beat us easily this year. That was the biggest disappointment Wednesday, because there was a chance of backdooring it into the Champions League, and we never went for it. So we never went slow, sideways, backwards. Against a goalkeeper who's on par with ours, Bobbins. And I'm just disappointed. That final just summed the season up. Or you can get to a final. Me and you've been to finals over here. We've gone for it from the word go. Had the other team on the back foot.
That's the biggest disappointment.
We never happened so.
I expected, to be honest with you, and lots of people out there, I was telling them, I said, you have to do something different. You can't, wait for excuses. You have to be on the front foot from the go and go on the attack. Because if you just play slow, methodical football, and then you go a goal behind, it's hard to get back. Yeah. How disappointing. I didn't see any pace, Webby.
No, I was just disappointed all round. So I'm just glad I never went over now. I watched the match here and just so disappointed with it, full stop, everything. So, it was a cup there to be won, and like I said, to get into the Champions League, which we didn't deserve after the season, what we just watched. But you take that chance, and we never took it. So the chance was there for us to get in, and we never took it. And that will impact the players with what I try and sign this year. But disappointing. I could go on here about 10, 11, 12, 13 games, but the final against Tottenham, that was the biggest disappointment for me.
Looking forward, I listened to Omar Berrada making a few comments, and he was talking about the plans.
Tony, I once listened to Ed Woodward about the plans. I've got to leave America.
Do you trust any of them, Webby?
No, don't trust any of them.
No.
Don't trust any of them, Tony. They've ruined that football club.
Yeah.
And I look at the likes of Jason Wilcox. What is he doing? Why is it? What is he actually doing? No, I don't trust any of them. So, and when I seen him come on that interview, I just muted it. Couldn't be bothered.
No.
I don't know, Woodward, I've got a list. I'm leaving America, got some, we tried to sign Bale, Fabregas, and someone else was it, and we ended up with Fellaini in the last minute of the transfer window. And then the worst one about it was watching the British Lions, the decider against the All Blacks. Their transfer window's open. There's Woodward in the crowd with a flag. What's to smash my telly up?
Yeah, but now we've got Omar Berrada, and his plans, for me and lots of people out there, is all about cutting costs, Webby. They were brought in. Ratcliffe came in here to sort the football out. It just seems to be like everyone's going mad, because all it seems to be is cutting down on the money, not on the pitch. And now look where we're at. Ruben Amorim's talking about working with a lot of youth players. That tells me, Webby, Berrada and that ain't putting money in to buy players. They're telling Ruben Amorim, this is what you've got.
Listen, so there's nothing better as a United fan, you'll back me up here, than seeing a kid coming through the reserves, through the youth, through the reserves. We had a player for the last 80 years, 70 years or whatever, being a match day squad. Yeah. Nothing better to see. And somebody, maybe under Van Gaal, under Marino, we wouldn't have seen the likes of Evan getting. He looks mint.
Yeah.
So play him week in, week out. He's only going to get bigger and better. You know what I mean? So the likes of Gino and other players, listen, he's got to go out on loan. If he's not going to play, there's no point playing in reserves. Put him out on loan against men and see what they're up to. But Evan, for me, is the fact that, listen, they got him from Arsenal. My mate at Arsenal was ill that he'd left. Tony looks like he'd been there 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, he looks good.
So if there's any more like that, I've seen a couple of the others yesterday who looked comfortable. I know he was playing a load of binman and all that, but they look comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the way to go forward. So, you know, because obviously the squad's not going to have to be that massive next year because we've got no European games. So, but the thing is, they've got to make the right choices. We need another couple of players in over the line, maybe ship a couple out. He'll look at have a squad of about 16 to 18 each match day and then go from there. And if there's 3 or 4 kids on that, I'm all for it, mate.
With Hoyland, I have to talk about Hoyland. Lots of people out there, you know,
Fucking Hoyland.
You know, there's all different opinions on him and that.
Well, I look at it there when he first come in, he was scoring all those goals in Europe. I thought, we've got to play it here.
Yeah.
And then whether he's trying hard, too hard, listen, so we've had bigger and better players come here. I remember when we signed Sanchez, I was buzzing me back out.
Yeah.
He couldn't hit a barn door.
No.
It was useless. You know, so, you know, the money we paid for him, how we're going to recruit that. I just don't think he's good enough, so that's my personal opinion. I wish he watches this and he scores 25 goals next year, but that's not going to happen. But it's also the system you play in the service. You know, if
did he get poor service off Garnacho and other players, Webby?
Yeah,
because
I think he did so. But the thing is, as well, you know, you take the West Ham game here when we 2-0 down. He has 3 good chances there. He's not in the target.
No.
You know, he's getting pushed off the ball. He's a big lad.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what suggested he go back over the summer and work on his strength, work on it. I don't know. So I just think that some players are made for this club, some players aren't, and unfortunately, I just don't think he's good enough for Manchester United Football Club. That's my opinion.
I just look at what people are saying and the disappointments, you know, and there's not many, you know, these big disappointments clearly. But you have to look and say the goalkeeper has been a disappointment since he's come in, Webby. I liked him when he came in. I thought he would like the way he played football with the back four and all that when he was...
do you know what got me? When I realised he wasn't for us, we played Nottingham Forest here the start of last season, and he got beat on 2 of the most weakest, poorest goals you will ever see. You wouldn't see that in Wimshaw Park, the goalkeeper. And I thought, no, he's not good enough. But then I'm thinking, do you know these clubs like Atalanta and Inter Milan, they must be having right parties for the dough they've had off us.
Yeah.
70-odd million and 60-odd million. Then Inter Milan go out and buy that Sommer for 6 million. You watch him the other week.
I know.
You know, we've got to look, you know, and I always remember Nana playing against us for Ajax. And he looked, I'm thinking, we've got a chance here with him in nets. But where does he go? Who's going to sign him? How do we get rid of? I'd play Tom Eaton, me.
Yeah, but the thing is, I look at it, are you going to be comfortable, assured that this team's going to progress with a small squad, Webby, when we've got a goalkeeper which keeps costing us points and games?
To be honest, last year, I don't think he made that many mistakes from the previous year. But you look at the goal here, Forrest scored when it swerved past him. You can't be getting beat like that, so. You can't be getting beat like that. I just don't think that, as a centre-half, when I played at a decent level, if I knew the keeper was half right behind me, makes me play with more confidence. Do I want to pass it back to him? I'm assured that he's going to come and get this cross. You know, and you set the goal for the final, he's jumping up in the air like a salmon. He's got it on the floor.
Yeah. I've got to finish on a positive note.
Yeah,
and a good note, something what we'll enjoy, everyone out there. How good and how professional has Harry Maguire been this year?
Yeah, can't fault him. You know, he come here. You know, listen, Harry Maguire was a 40 million signing, not an 80, but we paid it.
Yeah.
As simple as it's not his fault. Like we do. Listen, he could have just called it a day, not tried, stayed in the sidelines or in the stands, but fair play to him. You know, he's come and he's give it a right good go, and fair play to him, you know, and he's come when we've needed him, he's come out and my hat goes off to him. But listen, he's got another year. We've got another year. He's got a year left, hasn't he, of his contract.
Yeah.
Uh, But listen, if there's players out there who are having a rough time at this football club, all you need to do is say the words in your head, Harry Maguire.
Just copy what he's done as a professional.
He's a professional, he's battled back. You know, he's back in the England fray. And he couldn't even get in the stands. Could they? They won't even let him in the ground at one point.
No.
But no, fair play to him, you know, and we've needed him and he's come to the fore, and obviously the goal against Leon. You know, and
well,
there you go.
That summed him up this year. I think he deserved that, and I think the fans, the recognition and everything of how professional he's been. He's been under proper pressure, especially off social media. Yeah. It has been relentless. But so fair play to him. Yeah. So for Harry, let's hope that he turns up again and performs well. Listen, thanks for watching. Like I say, please press that like button and please subscribe, and we'll be back with another video soon as.
Thank you.